Hi guys, it's Shanae. I'm here for a update video, and you can tell I'm obviously not in my regular setting. Like I mentioned in my last video, I am on a bit of an adventure right now. I'm down in a different city doing a rotation at a different hospital. So I'm actually kind of like renting a room for a month from a friend that I know. So I'm actually leaving to my next location in 3 days. So I thought I'd take care of this because I'm not really going to have a lot of time to record at my next spot. So I have a couple finishes to show you, as well as some new starts and some haul. So my first finish, which is most exciting because I actually just finished it today. Confession, I finished it for this video because I was going through what I had discussed in my last video in preparation for this one, and I realized that I had said that I really wanted to finish this month, and I hadn't worked on it at all. So I took it out this morning and have been working on it all day. So that is, of course, the tablecloth. Let's see, I hope. Yeah, so the tablecloth is done. It hasn't been washed yet because I literally just finished it before I started this video. So I'm going to try to wash it before I leave, but we'll see how it goes. So I'll show you the fully washed product hopefully next time I do a video. So all I had left to do were these two corners, and as you can see, they are now complete. This is the center portion of the tablecloth, and the outer portion, the outer border, looks exactly the same, but just, you know, larger. So I plan to, like I said, wash this, and then I will show you a picture of it on the table, where it belongs. So happy this is done, guys. So happy. My next finish is the April Joyful World Sal, which I actually do not have with me. I finished it before I came down here, so I left it at my house, and I didn't bring it with me. But I do have some pictures, which I'll insert here so you can see what my finish looks like. I used all the called for threads by Gentle Arts, and I really like how it turned out. I'm not in love with the way that the white looks on the rabbit. As I discussed in my last video, I think it just it wasn't laying well, but I guess that's just because I'm not a great stitcher and you can actually see it with the white. But oh well, it looks great, I like it, and so that's good. Those are my finishes for this month. Oh, I also noticed that in the video where I showed you my finishes of the felt embroidered nativity, I told you I was going to show you a picture of the fully finished product, which I didn't do in my last video. I don't have it with me, obviously, but I do have a photo of that as well. And of course, this was the Kasia J designed felt embroidered nativity. I really like how it turned out. It was, I'm not going to say it was easy to fully finish. It was a little awkward with the bases and the three-dimensional nature of the project. But overall, I like it, and I am pleased with how it turned out. On to new starts. I do have a couple new starts this month. My first one is the February Joyful World Sal, and I have made a couple of changes to that, which I'll go through here. Okay, so as you know, this is on 32 count vintage country mocha, just as all the other ones, and this is how far I've gotten. I think the ducks are pretty cute. So some of the changes I made, the girl duck She's supposed to be done in maple syrup by Gentle Arts, and I didn't think maple syrup had that much variegation, so I just decided to use DMC 839 instead. I also added a little bit of blue feathers peeking out from under her wing, which I think is really cute. I also, in the boy duck, I made this brown part a little bigger, and then I also took out the white pieces because quite frankly, when I first saw this pattern, I thought that this was like a handkerchief on the duck, and I'm like, that's so cheesy. It kind of just reminded me of like Jemima Puddle Duck. And now I realize when like I consider the other Joyful World style pieces, like the fox has some white spots in its tail, and the squirrel also has some white spots. So I think it was just like a design thing that Snowflower Diaries was doing, but I'm just not a big fan of it. Honestly, I'm not sure that I like my version better. But it's done, and so I'm just going to leave it like that. So everything else so far is as charted. I really, really like the purples in the flowers here. And I think the green in the boy duck's head is really, really pretty too. Really nice variegation. So that is my February Joyful World Sal so far. It's pretty much done except for the word in the border, the words and the border. So hopefully I can finish that pretty quickly. My next new start is on 28 count platinum linen, and I did show you the colors last time for this. It's by Satsuma Street. I completely finished one part. I'm making 2 of these. They are for Christmas gifts. So I don't want to go into it too much, but I do think it's beautiful, so I do kind of want to show it off a bit. So this is the one that I completed. I think it looks really nice. The colors are very bright for me. And I wasn't so sure how I felt about it until I got the white in there. So let me show you. I started out just doing this part. This is for the second one. So I started out by doing this, and if you see, I skipped the white bits. And honestly, I mean, I always plan on putting the white pieces in. I just wanted to get like the outline before I did the citrus part in the middle. But honestly, without the white parts in the border, it's not very pretty. Like the color, I mean, it looks nice, but the colors aren't quite as, I don't know, they just don't look as nice. But with the white in place, with like the seeds and then around the outside, I think it turned out really, really nice. I like it. So that is the front. And then I also started the back. And let's just say that this was not cut straight, and then I went to cut it further down into like the small squares that I need. And then, well, I'll just show you. I'm cutting it very close here in the corner, but I think it turned out okay. It's pretty much in the last column that it can possibly be in, but I'm not complete with this part yet, but this is just the beginning. I made sure that I had enough room on this piece before I went ahead and did the leaves and stuff. So that's my new start by Satsuma Street. I think it's really pretty. I'm excited about it, and I'm going to make 2, as I mentioned. My last new start is by Plum Street Samplers. It is Liberty's Welcome, which I showed in haul in my last video. I love cross-stitching houses for some reason. So I went to my LNS this past month and got some fabric, as well as made some decisions on the thread for this piece. I chose 36 count Lakeside Meadow Rue for this project. It's kind of like a dark tan, and I have the roof as well as the dormers completed. Now underneath the roof there is one row of white, and then you start with the house color. Now I posted this on Instagram with the concern that the house color is blending in way too much with the linen, and most people reassured me that it wasn't a problem, that it was going to be okay. And then one user actually mentioned that like once I get the windows in, that's going to help the house color stand out, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. So I just went for it, and after doing this whole section here, I realized it's just not going to work. It is just way too similar to the fabric. It's just like with Lantern Lane, where the snow blended in with the fabric, and now I'm going to have to go back and un-FFO it and redo the snow. So I am now on the search for a new color for the house. So what I'm thinking for the house color is like a light gray, like a stone gray, that will stand out nicely against this dark fabric. If you look at the chart here, I feel like this looks like a nice stone gray, you know, like just a lighter color than the roof, but like in the same family. I think that'll be really nice. I haven't had a chance to go to Joann's and look at the colors yet, but that's kind of what I'm planning on. So it's like Lantern Lane all over again, you guys, where things just aren't going easy. Things aren't going the way I planned. So that's something that I'm working on right now. But I'm doing 1/2 because it's 36 count, and I've never done a 36 count before, but the woman at my LNS told me that that's what you do for 36 count or else it gets too bulky. And I think I have some pretty good coverage here. The roofs on the dormers, it's not perfect coverage, but I think it's gonna be okay. So yeah, that's my new start, my new house project start, because I guess I always have a house project going, it seems. That's just like a thing that I do. So that's about it for current projects. I also have my Faith sampler as a whip, but I haven't worked on that at all this month because I've been busy doing other stuff. Now, as far as haul, I got the fabric, the linen for Liberty's Welcome, which I already showed you. I also, I was so excited because I got to use a 4 for 99 cents coupon at Joann's. So that's the first time I got a great DMC deal like that. So I got all the floss for Liberty's Welcome, as well as the floss for Debbie's Roses and Kathy's Violets, which were like the freebies offered by Chatelaine once upon a time. For Liberty's Welcome, the way I chose the threads is on the back of the chart there is a list of DMC conversions from the MPI silks. I knew I didn't want to do MPI silks, and while I was shopping on European Cross Stitch one day, they noted that MPIs are solid color silks. They're not variegated, so it can be fine to substitute them for DMC. So I went online and found a conversion chart, and here on the side I've written in pencil the suggested conversions from the chart I found online. Then I bought both sets of DMC because it was on sale, and then I went to my LNS, which has MPI silks, and I compared each one to the called for MPI, and as you can see I circled the one that I chose to use in each case. And actually the suggested seems to have been really good for most of these colors. So I mean, this is my bag of DMC for that project. Also at my LNS, I got the rest of the Gentle Art sampler threads that I need for Joyful World South through July, because I guess I decided that I'm going to do all of them because they're all cute, and even though I like some more than others, I still think they're mostly all pretty sweet. So I didn't get all Gentle Arts. I did do some conversions. I only got the Gentle Arts that have some really good variegation, because that's, in my mind, that's what makes Gentle Arts worth the price, is because you get some really cool variegation for your project. So I'll insert a picture here of the Gentle Arts that I have. I've already put them in bags. This is a picture I put up on Instagram because I just thought they were so gorgeous. So I took a little picture. And then also at my LNS, they had a little 50% off basket at the front door, and I chose this. It's called Bobbing for Pumpkins by With by Needle and Thread. I'm not going to make it into a pillow, but I've been kind of wanting a Halloween pattern. I do not like Halloween. Like, quite honestly, Halloween is like my least favorite holiday of all. I just don't like it. I don't like spooky things or creepy, scary things. I don't like dressing up. It's just like not my thing. But I don't have any Halloween things, and this one looked fun, and yeah, for a couple days a year I can put this out and be Halloweeny. So but I think this is good because I don't want like a spooky or scary cross stitch, because I don't want to like scare little kids. But I think this is, it has witches, and it has an owl and pumpkins, and it says boo. Like, that's not super scary, but it's like very Halloweeny. So this is 50% off, so I thought it was a great deal, so I got that. And I'm not sure when I'm going to start that, but probably not for a while because I have some other plans in place. Speaking of plans for this month, I'm not going to have that much time because I mentioned in my last video that I'm actually going to be studying for boards, and that's kind of, it takes a lot of time and energy from me, so I really don't have a lot of time to do anything but like study, eat, and sleep. And I like to try to exercise, but I haven't been very good at exercising lately, so I don't know that things will suddenly get better during study month. But I don't know that I'll have that much time to cross stitch, but my goal is to work on the Faith sampler. I really want to finish this. So I'm going to show you where I am right now. I showed you in my last video, or I think it was the last video, but I just want to show you guys now where I am in the same spot. Just want to show you where I'm starting from, and hopefully I can finish this, assuming I actually get a chance to cross stitch. So the last band on this is actually a very large piece of hardhanger with cluster blocks, and I think it's going to be really hard for me, but I'll work on that and see where I get to, and hopefully I can finish this soon. I knew this video was going to be pretty short, so I decided that I wanted to do a tag. I've been meaning to do the Know Your Needleworker tag for a while now, but my videos seem to be pretty long, and I don't want to make them even longer with the tag. So I did see Jessie Marie's tag a couple weeks ago, and it's really exciting. I want to do that one because I just think it's a lot of fun. But obviously I'm not in my regular recording spot right now, so I won't be able to do that one until like the end of September, when I do a video at the end of September. So for now I'm going to do the Know Your Needleworker tag. And I have it written down here. So the first question is, where do you live? So I currently live in Washington, D.C. Just outside. I don't live like downtown, but I live within the Beltway. So I live on the Virginia side, and it's a nice area. I really like it. It can be busy sometimes. There's a lot of traffic, but I am very strategically located with respect to like where I work, where I don't really encounter that much traffic. So that's been really, really great for me. What do you do for a living? So I've mentioned this before. I am a student. I go to medical school at Virginia Commonwealth University, which is in Richmond, Virginia, which is like 2 hours south, an hour and a half, 2 hours south of Washington, D.C., depending on traffic and how fast you drive. I have gone to Richmond. So 2 weeks ago, I drove from Richmond up to Washington, D.C., and it literally took me 5 hours. I mean, I was going to the Maryland side that time, so it's on the other side of D.C., of course, but like it took 5 hours. It was so ridiculous. So it really does depend a lot on traffic, but usually it's just about an hour and a half away. I'm a fourth year at medical school, and in your third and fourth years at medical school in the United States, you do clinical rotations, which is where you work in the clinic with patients, most often in the hospital. And my medical school class is quite large, over 200 students, I believe, and so each year 30 of us get a chance to go to Washington, D.C. to do our clinical rotations, and I chose that when I applied to school, and I've loved it. I think it was the best decision I could have made for my third and fourth years. But right now, as I kind of mentioned, I'm actually back in Richmond doing a rotation down here, just because I'm getting ready to apply for residency, and it's a good idea to do a rotation at this school, just for like letters of recommendation and that sort of thing. And on top of that, I wanted to check out the residency program down here to kind of get a good feel for it. I'm planning to go into anesthesiology, so that's kind of been on my mind a lot lately. I'm working on my applications, which are due in September. Anyway, that was a long question to what do you do for a living. Basically, I don't. What do I do for a living? I apply to the government for loan money. That's how I make my living. Do you have any hobbies other than cross stitch? So I like reading, which I'll discuss later because there's a question about like your favorite books or something. I like playing piano. I've been playing piano since second grade, and I'm not very good at it anymore. I mean, not that I was ever like amazing, but I've definitely lost some of my dexterity because I haven't been able to practice as much. But I really like Chopin, but his stuff is really hard, so yeah. But I really do like playing piano. I run sometimes. I used to be really into running back when I was living down here, but I don't know, it's been so hot lately, and there's a lot of hills around my house in DC, and so that kind of makes it harder. And then I don't know, I'm just generally out of shape, which just makes it harder. Yeah, I guess if I ran more, I'd be in better shape, but I don't know. I try not to sweat, and so that's kind of a problem. But I'm okay with sweating if I'm wearing exercise clothes or whatever, but I don't know. I need to get better at running. I like quilting, though I haven't done it in a long time. I like swing dancing, and again, another thing I haven't done in a long time. Mostly I've just been cross-stitching and doing school-related things lately, so haven't done a lot of other stuff. But I really do like swing dancing. I like Lindy Hop. I've been doing that for like 7 years now. But I haven't gone for the last year or so. It's kind of sad. I never got around to finding a spot in DC where I could dance, so it's been a while. So I should probably work on that some. Do you have any kids? No, but I do have one niece and 2 nephews, with another nephew on the way, so that's exciting. A 5-year-old and 2 3-year-olds. Do you have any pets? No, but I really want a dog. I love dogs. They're so sweet, and it'd be so nice to have a buddy somebody to hang out with, somebody to come home to. Although I did babysit my sister's dogs for 2 weeks or a month, I don't know. It felt like a really long time, and I don't know if I could handle having a dog. I know. I can't believe I'm admitting that on tape. But it was a big ordeal because one of the dogs had like a tooth problem and I had to bring him to the vet. And it was just like a lot to manage while going to school, and the bill was pretty expensive too, so I don't know if it's, I don't know. I would love to have a dog. So cute. Favorite movie? So this is a hard one. Questions that ask for your favorite something is really hard for me because I don't really have like a favorite of anything, but there are things that I like rewatch a lot, and those are like Jane Austen movies, of course, Pride and Prejudice. I really like the Emma, both, well, in my collection I have 2 Emmas, like the one from the 90s with Gwyneth Paltrow, and then also the one that was recently redone by BBC. I really like those both. I really like Persuasion. I like the old Persuasion better than the new one. The new Persuasion, I don't know. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but like that kiss at the end, it kills me. I can't handle it. It's so bad. So I really like Persuasion. I really like Sense and Sensibility, the old one and the new one. So yeah, I like Jane Austen. And kind of along that same vein, Austenland. I don't know if any of you have seen that movie. It's based on a book by Shannon Hale, which I read and really liked, and it's not like totally faithful to the book, but that's okay. It's still hilarious. It has Jennifer Coolidge in it, who's always a ridiculous character, it seems like, and she does really well in this one. I just love it. It's hilarious. And then I also like Inception and Ocean's 11, movies like that. I think Inception is probably my favorite one in that kind of like drama genre recently. So yeah, I don't really have favorite movies though. Favorite TV shows, I thought of 3. So first one is Psych. I have all 8 seasons of Psych, and I usually just like watch them on rotation. So once I finish season 1, I'll go to season 2 through 8, and then once I finish season 8, I'll just start season 1 again. And I don't know, I haven't gotten sick of it yet. Before I started collecting the seasons of Psych, I would watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Amazon Prime a lot and kind of do the same thing. Although not quite the same as Psych, where I just like rotate through. I just like choose a random season and then a random episode. Don't ask me why. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, it's just like, I love that show. It's really weird. And then a show that I haven't watched a lot recently, but I really, really liked, and I wish I had like better access to it. I'm not really sure how to get a hold of it, is Jeeves and Wooster. It's a really funny show. It's really old. It has Hugh Laurie in it, who is hilarious. He does a really great job. They're based on books by P.G. Wodehouse. Really, really good show. It's really funny. Favorite music genre. I'm kind of all over the place on this too. When I was thinking about this question, I went onto my Pandora to like see what kind of music I like, and I really like all kinds of music. When I'm in the car, I'm usually listening to Taylor Swift. Oh gosh, this tag is so revealing. But yeah, I usually am listening to Taylor Swift in the car because I really like her new album and I just like her music. On Pandora, I'm usually listening to 80s pop, which is also weird. But yeah, 80s pop, really fun. I like the upbeat stuff. And I don't know, I kind of struggle to, trying to listen to a genre, but like vocal jazz or like traditional pop, so like Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole, stuff like that. I really like that music. I really like the Piano Guys, actually. They have a YouTube channel and they have some albums out, so I listen to them. And I like classical music as well. Like I mentioned before, I really like Chopin. And then Motown. So I guess I would call that like traditional R&B. I don't know, like classic R&B. I don't know, but like Marvin Gaye and guys like that. So I'm kind of all over the place, I think. As far as favorite books, there's also kind of a list of genres that I like. I love Harry Potter, as most people in my generation do. I don't know. I think more than other. How do I put this? I don't know. So I was a kid when Harry Potter was coming out. I read the first Harry Potter when only 2 books were out, and I was in 7th grade, I think. And so like I don't know. I feel like mine was the audience that Harry Potter was written for, like my age group. At the time when I was that age, and it was just very exciting to wait for the next book to come out and to receive the book on the day it came out in the mail, and very exciting to like watch the story unfold. And so I still remember I got the 7th book the sophomore year, or sorry, the summer of my sophomore year in college. So I don't know, I kind of feel like I grew with those books, you know, like the first book is so seemingly simple. I mean, later on as the world develops, we realize that like there were, you know, the story was a lot more complex than she let on in the first book, but it was so seemingly simple. It was perfect for kids my age, you know, in 6th and 7th grade. And then as her audience matured, so did her books, and her world kind of revealed itself some more. So anyway, I have a lot to say today. So yeah, Harry Potter. I really like Jane Austen, but I also I really like Jane Austen, like fan fiction, I guess is what I would call it. I used to call it spin-offs, but I don't know. I think fan fiction is probably a little bit more appropriate. So I am really into only like clean spin-offs. So let's see, the Mr. Darcy Gentleman series, or wait, yeah, or is that the Mr. Knightley? I don't know, but there is a series of 2 Mr. Knightley books that are like from his perspective, 3 Mr. Darcy books that are from his perspective, and then like Mr. Darcy's Diary. I actually have 2 on order right now, so like I have a lot of Jane Austen fan fiction books. Actually, which just is like kind of weird, I don't even own all of the Jane Austen books, but I have like all this Jane Austen fan fiction. It's like really weird. But I have read all the Jane Austen books. I think I would just like check them out in the library. See, I also like doctor and like medical memoirs. So, like one that I read recently, actually, I think it's right here. Yeah. It's by Gerald Zeitlin. It's called Laughing and Crying About Anesthesia, a Memoir of Risk and Safety. It just talks about his experience becoming an anesthesiologist and what it was like for him. So this was really awesome because he talked about all the reasons he likes anesthesia, and I'm like, oh, those are the reasons I like anesthesia. So that was really good. I also read recently, it's called Breathing for Two, another anesthesia book. And so I like books from the perspective of the doctors, and like memoirs about their experience in medicine. Like Atul Gawande, he writes Complications, which is a book about like surgery. I haven't read that in a while, but I read that, and you know, he wrote like Being Mortal, which I thought was a really good book, even though it wasn't like a memoir so much. Well, I guess it was a memoir because he shared some stories, but I thought that was like a really great book that, I don't know, I wish every American would read that book. It's so good. And then, so like medical memoirs. I also recently read The The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, I think it's called. It's written by this guy who, he was very young. He was like mid-40s or early 40s when he had a stroke that left him with locked-in syndrome, which means that the only thing he had control over, the only thing he could move were his eyes. And so he wrote this book by blinking his eyes. It was a little bit more like artistic than, I'm like a very literal person, so, but it was still very interesting to peer into his world, so to speak. So I like books like that, Dr. Memoirs. I like books like how Malcolm Gladwell writes, what did he write? Blink, which I haven't read yet. The Tipping Point, which kind of talks about like trends and how things like gain traction, and like there are like different kinds of people in the world, like people who will jump on the boat before anybody else does, and then people who wait until like something becomes, you know, starts rolling along, and then they'll jump on the boat. What was the other one I read? I don't know. So he has a lot of good books. And then there's like, I really like kid books too because they're easy to read, although quite frankly I haven't read these recently. There's this set of books called The Penderwicks, and I read those a couple of years ago, like before I even applied to med school. And I really liked those because it reminded me of my childhood. It's this book about like 4 girls, I think, it's a book about them growing up and like the adventures they have and games they play, and it just reminded me of my childhood because I come from a family of 5 children. 4 of us are girls and the youngest is a boy, so we would just have all these adventures similar to these Penderwick girls, and just really sweet book series. And then Shannon Hale, who wrote Austenland, I mentioned her earlier. She also wrote like these Books of Bayern series. The first one was The Goose Girl, and somebody just lent that to me like kind of on a whim while I was in college. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll read it. I like fairy tales. And it was so good. Like seriously, if you've never read it, read it. It's really, really good. I don't know, maybe that's the young Janae talking, but I thought it was awesome because I just like the ending. I like how she makes you want different things to happen. She makes you want like a couple different things to happen, and then the way that she resolves those things happening is very satisfying for the reader. So I don't know, I don't want to like give anything away, but I really like how she ended that book. So okay, so those are my favorite books. Yeah, sorry, this has gone on for a while. I thought this was gonna be a quick tag. And then the last word was the last question is what one word describes you best. And I was thinking that the one word that describes me best is thoughtful. Thoughtful meaning like pensive. I consider things excessively before like doing them, or yeah, I think through things before, I don't know, I guess I'm just like very cautious and thoughtful, and I try to view things from multiple sides before making a decision, that sort of thing. So that's what I thought for that. Anyway, that's the Know Your Needleworker tag. And yeah, sorry, not a lot of like stitching updates in this video. I guess I haven't been stitching a lot. I don't know. I guess the Joyful World styles take a lot of time, but it doesn't feel like they do, but they must, because I haven't really done a lot of other stitching other than those. Although I have to say, the roof on this thing, I mean, look, here's a pen. It's pretty big. It's a big roof. Okay, but like it doesn't look like a lot, but this took me hours, literally hours, you guys. I did this for like 2 weekends solid. I mean, like if I had to estimate I just like literally, this took me like 20 hours. I don't even think I'm exaggerating right now. It took so long, and that was like without the windows, and then the windows were pretty fast or whatever, but like the actual roof itself, that took a long time. So, and I know that you guys know that it takes a long time. Stitching takes a long time, and it never looks like that much time, but we all know this took hours. So I guess I just don't have a lot to show for what I worked on this month. But anyways, I want to thank you all for watching my videos, and I want to thank you for subscribing. I have gained like 100 subscribers since my last video, which is awesome. Welcome to any new subscribers. I'm happy that you're here watching my cross-stitching adventures, and I hope that you enjoy them. So I will see you again in a month, maybe. We'll see. I actually have 2 tests that I'm preparing for that I will be taking at the end of this month, so on the 24th and on the 31st. So honestly, I probably won't be recording. Well, I won't be recording before the tests. I won't be recording in between the tests, that 1 week between the tests. And then after the tests, I probably won't be recording. So I'll be back in DC sometime in the beginning of September. So I might be able to record then. Maybe I'll just wait till the end of September. I don't really know. I haven't really looked far enough ahead to make plans for September, so it'll probably be a little while longer for my next update. But in the meantime, I hope you guys get a lot of great stitching in, and I'll try to keep up with flosstube videos. I probably won't, but I will have like some time after my test to catch up on flosstube and do some stitching of my own. So I'll just try to focus on that time while I'm studying and studying and studying. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!